Yes, guys, what's happening? It's Monday morning, just before 9 o'clock. I'm going to get stuck into some work after this, but I wanted to give you guys a bit of an update on training, work, where we're currently at. Things have been a little bit disjointed on the channel over the last couple of weeks. I got ill, I had a race, wiped me out. I'll go into that in a little bit more detail in a second, but really want to document the next few days, this week, and a lot of December, just to showcase my, I guess you could call it, high performance lifestyle, running the business, training for, fingers crossed, a sub 3 marathon, managing social life and things like that. So I can't remember where we ended up on the last video, but basically, what was it? I think it was 3 weeks ago now, did a half marathon race, set a huge PR there, 1:23:30, which was massive for me. My goal and Simon's goal, my training partner, we wanted to go under 1:26 on that race, which was, I think that would have been over a 2-minute PR, so I would have been really pleased with that. I ended up running a 1:23:30, which I was so pleased with. This obviously coincided with the back end of the marathon prep, which is in less than 2 weeks now. So we've got Abu Dhabi Marathon on the 13th of December. So there's been a lot of running over the last few weeks. Big peak week, peak block, whatever you want to call it. But I did that race, and I think I actually got ill. I was getting ill the day before that race, but I still felt fine on the day. So obviously I sent it, set that amazing PR, and then came down with a fever for pretty much 5 days. Just had the meal prep delivered there, which I'll show you later on in the video. But yeah, that wiped me out, and I rarely get ill. I get ill probably once a year. God knows what that was attributed to. There's definitely been a fever and flu going around, so I came down with that, but still had to press on with training, work, and all that sort of stuff. So that did throw a little bit of a spanner in the works from a training standpoint, but managed to recover. I actually got an IV drip. Obviously, you know, IV drips, you can go into hospitals in the UK, and I think they'll give you them if you need them, but you can actually pay to get them delivered and facilitated at your apartment in Dubai. So that definitely sped up the recovery, and I was able to do 32k that weekend, which I was really pleased about. And then 2 days ago, it's obviously Monday now, Saturday, we hit our longest run of the prep, 34k. Managed to get an average pace on that run of 4:17, which is just above sub 3 pace. So I'm definitely going to go for that sub 3 target on the day now, provided that everything goes well. And over the last 4 weeks, we've done, within training runs and including that half marathon race in Dubai, we've done 4 sub 90-minute half marathons. So it goes without saying the legs and the body's feeling a little bit fatigued, but we're into the 2-week taper now, and as I say, I will document that over the next couple of weeks. But basically the goal now over the next couple of weeks is to minimize fatigue, still train in the gym, still get the runs done. I've got 3 runs this week, but just to flush out a lot of fatigue and delayed onset muscle soreness in the legs. That 34k was great because I was able to hit the pace that I wanted, if not a little bit faster, which was amazing. But I was also able to do that whilst holding a lot of fatigue. So in theory, if I can shift this fatigue over the next couple of weeks, come in fresh, nail the carb load, all that sort of stuff, hopefully should be fine on the day. So that's training. I am still going to be strength training 3 times this week. I'll probably only strength train twice, 2 times next week ahead of the race, and I'll document that. I'm still going to push the upper body in the gym this week. I'll pull back a little bit next week, but lower body training is basically just going to be maintenance mode, probably 5 reps away from failure. As I say, we do not want to be generating any fatigue there. It's just ticking the boxes and keeping the right muscles in the lower body activated, like the glutes, the hamstrings, and things like that, to avoid injury. From a work standpoint, 1st of the month now, 1st of December, obviously the final month of the year. Very motivated as of this morning, just to nail this month. It is historically a hard month for fitness, but I think people use that as an excuse. So we're going to push through, working with some amazing clients. And again, a big goal of mine over the next few weeks, just to document more of the program. I don't think I've been very good at doing that. I don't really show enough of an insight into how we actually work with clients. So I'm doing a lot of client check-ins today. So I'm going to, I'd say, give you a little bit of an insight there into how we work one-to-one with clients. Myself still coach a good amount of clients in the business, but we've got the coaching team too. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm motivated. I don't think it should take it being a new month for you to be motivated, but I think every coach and every business owner does get a little bit of spurt of motivation at the start of the month, which is probably why I'm doing this video. But nutrition wise, obviously that's super important for not just training to fuel and perform well, but also to operate at a high level with work. So I'm going to document and show you guys what I am eating today and what I'm eating this week. I've just had my meal prep delivered there. I only prepare my own food once, sometimes twice a day. I get everything else delivered just to save me time, and it's pretty affordable in Dubai. So I think that's a key part of maintaining a high performance routine, is obviously having your nutrition almost on autopilot, or at least knowing everything that you're consuming and when you're going to consume it roughly. Obviously it's good to have a little bit of flexibility there, but basically what I'm trying to say is you need to be organized with all aspects: training, nutrition, sleep, recovery management, and organization from a work standpoint too. And that's something that I did at the back end of last week. Was just, I'm working with a mentor at the moment. I think I mentioned that on the channel before. We've got a new project that I need to build out over the next few weeks, and I just realized with my current kind of routine that wasn't going to get done. It's working on the business, and I think a lot of business owners can probably relate. I think you get very stuck just working in the business, servicing clients and things like that, which is obviously super important, but you have to take yourself out of it and work on projects that are going to take you to the next level. Otherwise you will just stay the same, if not go backwards. That's obviously not a goal of mine. We've grown massively this year in terms of client numbers by, I think, probably almost 75, 80%, and the revenue has grown at a similar amount as well, which is obviously amazing. But I'm in this kind of position now where we're doing quote unquote well, but if you want to take it to the next level, then I need to step up in terms of organization, productivity to get to that next level next year, because kind of at a crucial point in my life now where I say I'm doing really well. I'm investing every month, but if I want to take it to the next level, then I need to level up across the board. So some things that I've done towards the back end of the month, what I do is I review all the numbers within the business, client retention, churn, things like that. I look at the quality of the results that we're putting out and that we're getting for the clients, which is obviously a massively important part of the business to drive it forward. And obviously we market that on social media too. From a personal standpoint as well, I always review finances, see where they're at. I make sure that I invest every month. I work with a financial advisor to make sure I'm ticking those boxes too. And training wise as well, just always like to think, what went well, what could be improved on. And I think for me, nothing has went badly. The next 2 weeks are literally just focused on almost holding back a little bit, which I think is hard. Obviously ahead of this prep, I don't want to push things too hard, as I mentioned before. But yeah, just nailing that nutrition and nailing the recovery side of things too will put me in a really, really good position to nail the race. So I'm going to get stuck into my first proper work block of the day. I stayed at my girlfriend's last night, so I spent about 45 minutes this morning just organising things for today, checking my phone, replying to any messages that needed to be responded to quickly. And just something that I've been doing, which is kind of unrelated to the video, I guess, but over the last week, I follow a lot of people on Instagram. I just always have done over the last few years, a few thousand people. And if I ever see any content on there, on stories or posts, which I think are just useless and not worth me spending my time looking at, I'm either unfollowing those people or I'm just muting them so I don't see it. Not because they annoy me or anything like that. It's just a waste of time. So I only want my feed on Instagram to be curated with my friends who are coaches, who motivate me, influencers that motivate me as well, that I can take inspiration from for content. Basically just trying to remove anything that isn't relevant to what I'm trying to do. So yeah, I'm going to get stuck in now. I'm going to work for about 90 minutes. Then I'm going to have my breakfast, which I'll show you as well. But the main thing that I've done today is I've caffeinated with a coffee. I've hydrated with some electrolytes as well. And I'm going to get stuck into this work block now. So this is the current work setup. I would call it a standing desk, but it's basically my coffee table on top of my kitchen table. I try and spend at least half of the amount of time that I do working in a standing position, just because I find that if I sit down, posture goes to shit. Get a little bit of lower back pain, which is not what we want ahead of the race in a couple of weeks. So I actually just ordered this morning an ergonomic desk chair to obviously put here for when I am sitting. I did have one in my old apartment, but I left it there because it wasn't very good, to be honest. So I spent a little bit more money this time on a good one. So I think that should definitely help things. But I would definitely recommend that. I say that to our clients all the time, ones that drive a lot, they commute to work, or just spend so much time at a desk. If it's possible to not only just stand at a desk, just get up, move around, it really, really will improve posture. And that's going to have a big carryover to your posture in the gym as well. I think a lot of people don't realize that if you've got kind of like hunched over shoulders, upper body, lacking mobility in that thoracic spine, then it's going to hold you back from getting good connection on the pushing movements in the gym. So I was explaining before about organization. So this is something that I've been doing at the moment, is using Google. Well, I've reorganized my Google Calendar to basically just show me and hold me accountable to exactly what I'm doing day to day with work. So I'm not sure if you can see, but everything is organized here Monday to Friday in terms of work. I do work on the weekends as well, but it's more creative, so it's not as kind of structured there. So you can see green is all my training. So we've got gym today, run tomorrow, gym Wednesday, run, and then gym. The blue big blocks here are check-ins, which is what I'm working on at the moment. And then I have calls and just reminders to reply to WhatsApps and things like that. So something that I kind of reset up last week to, again, try and provide me with that structure and that accountability there. Obviously, I move things around, I edit things as I need to, but this makes sure that I should know what I'm doing at every kind of point throughout the day. So I'm just sitting down to have my first meal of the day, which I'll show you in a second. I'll run you over the macros as well, but I've just done a good bunch of check-ins there. 2 work blocks. First one was 60 minutes, then took literally just a 10-minute break to stretch a little bit, get a drink, and then back in for another 45. So I'm going to have this and then go back to work, probably do another 45 to 60 minutes there, and that should be the majority of the check-ins done today. The majority of our clients check in on Sunday evening, whatever time zone they're in, and our policy is we'll always get them feedback within 24 hours. We usually send them video feedback. Some clients prefer voice notes, but that's just the way that we do it. So this meal, it's actually a little bit later than I'd usually have it. It's almost 11 o'clock, but I just wanted to get stuck into work today. My calorie intake this week will be a little bit lower because I'm not doing as much running. But what we've got here is, so we've got an omelette with some salsa on top, 2 bits of sourdough bread, and there's about 12 grams of Lurpak butter on the bread as well, because it makes it taste great. And then I'm also going to have this, which is literally just a protein shake. So in total, this meal will be around, well, it will have around 60 grams of protein. Carbohydrates probably similar as well, actually probably more like 80 grams, and then around 25 grams of fat. So a good hit of everything there will keep me satiated. Trying to hit at least 180 grams of protein, so I'll have 3 main meals with between 45 to 60 grams of protein, and then outside of that I'll generally have snacks which are usually carbohydrate based to try and help me hit that intake of 400 grams plus, which is what I usually aim for. Consume around 2,800 to 3,100 calories day to day, usually between Monday and Thursday, and then on the weekend, well, on Friday I'll always carb load up to between 550 and 650 grams of carbs, depending on how long the run is that I usually do on Saturday. So my average intake for the last few weeks, I would say, has been around 3,300 calories. I don't track absolutely everything, just because I've literally tracked my calories pretty consistently for the last 10 years. So I have a very good awareness of what's in my food. But if you are newer to this game of performance and improving your physique, I would really recommend tracking absolutely everything for a good amount of time. I would say 3 to 6 months to allow you to develop the knowledge to be able to do this. I haven't weighed my food in a long time, but again, I can eyeball pretty much everything, and I'm not trying to lose fat at the moment. I'm trying to maintain. If I was trying to lose fat, I would just weigh a lot more regularly to make sure that I'm more accurate. But, you know, I take progress photos every single week, if not more often. I weigh myself often, and I track my nutrition. I know where I'm at. So again, if you are less experienced than me, which is probably likely, I would recommend tracking to make sure that you are moving towards the goal. But this is what I'm having now. And then, as I say, I'm going to get stuck back into check-ins. I've got a call with one of my team. I'm probably going to go down to the communal area next to the pool at the apartment and do a little bit of content work outside just to get a little bit more sun, so I'm not stuck indoors all day. And then I'm going to train later on. I mentioned in my previous video, I always train on the same days per week, the same days of the week, just because it works wonders for following your training split properly and having that structure. But I do move my training sessions around on those days if I need to, depending on what work I've got to do. And today I just want to knock out pretty much all my check-ins before I train, so I don't feel like I'm rushing my session. I hate training early on in the day when I'm doing a lot of check-ins because I feel like I've got a lot of work to do when I get back. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to train in the apartment today just to save time, and because we've got the marathon in less than 2 weeks now, I don't need to be going to the gym with slightly better equipment and having heavier weights. I'm just going to be maintaining my numbers for the next couple of weeks, and I just want to simply save time today. It's probably my busiest day of work on Monday. Yes, people, checking in for, I guess it's dinner or meal 3, as bodybuilders like to say. Filming on the iPhone just because my camera is in the other room and I didn't want to disrupt the flow of the vlog. I'm terrible for starting a vlog and then just forgetting and not finishing it. So I had a call with my client. The candidate that I was meant to interview today didn't turn up, which isn't a good sign, but I've got another call booked in with someone else tomorrow, so fingers crossed that goes well. Check-in's done for the evening. I'm gonna eat this quickly, then I'm gonna walk over to, which way is it? I don't even know. That way to the marina to see one of my friends, JJ, to do a few steps. We're both guilty of working a lot and not leaving the apartment, so this is actually quite exciting to be leaving the apartment on a Monday night, as sad as that sounds. But yeah, I'm gonna eat this, walk over there, probably take me about half an hour, but I've basically done no steps today. So not that I'm trying to do a lot, but I just think it will be good to get out and get some movement. I'm not consciously trying to hit a step count at the moment. I think my average steps throughout the week are probably around 12,000, which is actually really low considering how much running I do. But as I mentioned earlier on in the video, I'm not trying to lose fat at the moment. If anything, over the next couple of weeks, I need to be not minimizing movement, but just being conscious not to overdo it. But it will be good to get some steps in there. And I'll probably try and reply to a few clients and a few messages while I'm on the move. I always give that advice to clients who are pushing, I would say, over 10,000 steps, which is quite a lot of time to be walking. Try and batch tasks and bolt on something to when you are doing steps. Otherwise, you will just hate the process of just walking for the sake of it. So personal development, whatever, listen to a podcast, call your family, reply to work emails, whatever it is. But yeah, and that'll probably be me rounding off the vlog for today, up early tomorrow morning. And tomorrow I'm going to document a little bit of insight into the program to show you how we do the check-in process and the sort of things that we say to our amazing clients. What's happening, team? It is Wednesday morning. Just had a call with the coaches. They're based in Australia, all of them for some random reason. So we always do that at 8 o'clock Wednesday morning Dubai time. Just about to head down to the apartment, the gym in my building to train one of my online clients. I'm going to do a lower body session with him. We do this maybe like once a month just to brush up on technique and just have a little bit of a catch up, a one-to-one check-in. He literally lives in this building next to me. So that one there, look at that view, unreal. There we are. Weather's absolutely perfect in Dubai at the moment. It's still hot enough to sunbathe midday, but it's also cool enough to run later in the morning, which is an absolute dream. Because a few months ago, I was running at like 6 a.m. and it was like 35 degrees, which was horrible. So I'm gonna head down there now. I'm gonna take this camera with me, film a little bit from the session. As I say, it's a lower body session. And I'm also gonna get Dominic to record, hopefully, a little bit of a testimonial that we can put on Instagram, because he's absolutely smashed it. He's almost finished his fat loss phase. I think he's 7 kg down. We've probably got another 2 kg to pull off him. So they'll look fantastic, and he'll be between that probably 10 to 12% body fat range, which is where we need clients to be before we start the reverse diet and start to focus on building muscle. So I'm gonna head down there now, do the session, and then after that I've got 3 check-ins to do. I'm gonna have breakfast, a little bit of admin work, and then head to the gym for another full body training session. Wednesday, as I mentioned in previous videos, is a little bit of a lighter day of work because I've been flat out. Monday and Tuesday, did like 8 hours solid work yesterday, but here we go, gonna head down now. Yes, guys, what is happening? So it's now Friday. Friday is a big client fulfillment day for me. So what that usually entails is some client check-ins, although I do most of those at the start of the week now, a lot of client programming, and I have a few client calls later on this evening with some clients in the US. So thought it'd be a good opportunity to run you over kind of what I guess our program entails from a service standpoint with the clients. So I guess the first step, if someone was considering coming on board with us, is they would book in for an initial consultation call with myself. They generally last between 30 and 45 minutes. And on that call, we discuss primarily what the goal of that individual is, whether that's fat loss, whether it's building muscle, whether it's a general body recomposition, which is usually the goal for most of the people that we work with. We do have a few clients as well that are working towards performance goals. So maybe training for a half marathon, and things like that. But basically, we deep dive into the goals, what those people have done in the past in order to try and achieve those goals themselves. Because obviously, if they're booking a call with us, that generally shows that they're looking for some sort of support and they may have been struggling to achieve the goal in the past themselves. And ultimately, we're trying to find out whether they're a good fit for the program. If they sign up with us, the next step would be the onboarding. So the clients fill in a consultation form, they fill out a health questionnaire. Then myself and the team will go and prepare their program. We have a policy that we will always get we'll get a setup ready for the client within 2 to 3 working days. Then if they were working with me one-to-one, I would get on a call with them myself. If they are working with one of the coaches on the team, they will book in for a call with them to meet them. If the client requires some more nutritional support as well, a lot of people that we work with really struggle with the nutrition side of things, not just the training. They would also book in for a call with Harry, who is our head coach and nutritionist as well. And then once the clients are kind of rolling with the program, they're working themselves through the training sessions, tracking the metrics, tracking the nutrition for us. We have touch points throughout the week, and that's obviously to make sure that we are communicating with the clients periodically, making sure that they are ultimately focused, bought into the program. And if they can do that for a period of time, they will start to see results, and they will obviously get that buy-in, that proof of concept that what they are doing is working versus what they were trying to do in the past. So the touch points that we have throughout the week with all the clients is most of our clients will check in on the weekend, either a Sunday or a Monday morning. And our policy is that we will get feedback over to them within 24 hours, provided that they check in on time. We will usually send Loom, which is video feedback, over to them, detailing any changes that we've made to their program, to their nutrition targets, addressing anything that they have mentioned in the check-in form that might present as a challenge in the week ahead. That is what we consider the formal touch point for the week. That's the minimum point of contact that we need with the clients. If we're not speaking to them at least once a week, then we can't hope to get a result from them, and they can't hope to, I guess, get enough from us to help them achieve that result. Outside of that, they have access to us on WhatsApp 7 days a week to answer any questions that they might have. We will always drop our clients a touch point as well throughout the week. If we, let's say we haven't heard from them for 3 days, we'll drop them a message to see how they're getting on. And then we do a monthly performance review call with every client as well, where basically we have a live one-to-one call. We go over all the data from the last month, we review how it's gone, and most importantly, we plan how we can improve things going into the next month. So it's very much what we call bespoke one-to-one coaching. Everyone who comes on board with us has a designated coach that they work with, whether that's myself or one of the performance coaches on the team. There's a lot of support if the clients want and require it. Some of the people that we have on our program, we've worked with them for over 2.5, in some cases 3 years. So those people, it goes without saying, are a lot more independent, and we might only speak to them once or twice a week, generally just with their check-in feedback, and we'll do a call with them every month. Whereas some of the newer people to the program and the people that are newer to training and working on their fitness in general, we might communicate with them, pretty much every day or every other day. So that's a little bit of a rundown of the program. But what I am gonna do in future videos is actually kind of like deep dive into the softwares that we use and show you how we actually get the results. But we get a lot of questions about, what does your program look like? I think a lot of people get confused between just purchasing a cheap subscription on an app versus one-to-one coaching, and that's how we are trying to really kind of like differentiate ourselves at the moment, show the kind of high quality service that we provide. We have such a good relationship with all the people that we work with. You know, we're speaking to them so often. So yeah, we'll show more of that in future videos.